Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to the Wrestle Talk Podcast. For the next 2 hours, we will bring you the latest pro wrestling news, in-depth analysis of all your favorite promotions from across the globe, and much, much more. We will also bring you exclusive interviews with the greatest professional wrestling personalities on the local, national, and international levels. If you want to follow the Wrestle Talk Podcast, check us out online at www.wrestletalkpodcast.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And now, it's time for the reigning, defending, undisputed leader in pro wrestling podcast, the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to the episode 440 of the Wrestle Talk Podcast. My name is Big Sexy, the one and only the Road Dog, Chris Rodell. We are going to have another great episode here. We got a lot to talk about. We had New Japan's Forbidden Door, or AEW New Japan Forbidden Door. We also had, got Money in the Bank this weekend and a whole bunch of other stuff. Another great interview scheduled in our second hour. But I can't do this alone, so I am going to bring on my co-host for the evening. He's taking up shop over on the West Coast. Please welcome Jay Wade, Justin Wade, to the show. Justin,
hey everybody, how are we doing tonight? What's up, big man?
How's it going, man? How you doing?
We're doing good, man. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about tonight. I got about 25 pages of notes I took from between Forbidden Door, from Friday Night SmackDown, for Raw from last night, Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor. We got a big Ring of Honor match this week with Claudio Castagnoli defending the belt on Ring of Honor television. So, got a lot to talk about tonight, my friend. We got a good interview. I did my research on him. I'm pretty excited. So.
Yeah, yes, sir. It is going to be another great episode. We got some great things going on here at the Wrestle Talk Podcast. Make sure you interact with us. You can leave us some messages. If you're in a group, make sure you select permission, that you give them permission to post your name so we can give you credit for it. Our good friend Jared is in the house already. And he's already booing you. I mean, that's okay. You're kind of used to it. You've been,
right.
Susan's already.
Let's just say, Rodell, that I've had my fair share of booing, particularly from the female side of the audience. So I will be fine with the male side.
I don't know if we want to go. It has been a really busy time, because last week we were talking pre-show meetings. You had like 4 pages, and now you say you got another 4 pages of stuff. So I mean,
I had 4 pages for that night's show. After watching, I took notes all of Forbidden Door. So I watched the whole pay-per-view from start to finish, and I'm still exhausted. It was. Let's just say it wasn't too storyline cliche fueled up. It was, if you're a pro wrestling fan, I would go and watch the replay of Forbidden Door if you get a chance, because from start to finish, it was a fan's dream, wrestling wise.
Yeah, that's why I heard there was someone that's a wrestling TikToker that was actually at Forbidden Door, and he said that the crowd was kind of gassed after Omega and Ospreay. They went 40 plus minutes, and we're going to get into it, but it is on par with their match from Wrestle Kingdom, and it's just exciting to see, because as years go on, we're still being spoiled with great wrestling. As years go on, we worry that when the next group of guys retires and go, we're worried with what we're going to be left with, and every decade it gets better, it seems. Yeah, I mean, and I don't think Ospreay and Omega can have a bad match together. They do it like 40 minutes a night, so it's like that's just a lot. So, but we're going to talk about that. That's probably going to be our first high spot segment, because we'll look behind before we look forward, because
yes,
it was a pretty decent. I thought it was a pretty decent show. We got to see one of our Wrestle Talk podcast guests, Billy Starks, was in the buy-in or whatever they call it.
It was just a pre-show.
Did they just call it the pre-show this time? Okay.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this. I missed part of the pre-show because when we get into AEW Forbidden Door, I have a whole little shtick of my trying to get to watch it, and I missed some of the pre-show. So it's we'll when we get into that, we'll talk about it. But
I missed most of the pre-show because I was out to get something to eat, and I actually forgot it started, but I wanted to make sure I watched the Billy Stark match because she's 18 and she's an up and comer already. She's been wrestling for years, so
yeah.
So, but before we do that, we gotta do one thing. We gotta take care of our good sponsors. Let me find it here. I'd like to thank our sponsors, the Royal Mills Transportation, the CEO, DeJuan Mills, Rathbun and Gravy. You can get those beautiful Wrestle Talk podcast mugs for just $20. Nobleman Barber Lounge in Casey, Missouri, Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall, I-70 Sports Media with the maestro Jeremy Karp, Little Popeye Designs. You can get one of those Wrestle Talk tumblers, and the one and only the world's premier fantasy wrestling league, the FWWC. And we'll hopefully talk to DeJuan. Will probably stop by hopefully later on tonight. So it's just we can't do it without our sponsors. That's all we can say is we're nothing without our sponsors.
No, we're not. We need the sponsors and the fans, just like pro wrestling. You got to have multiple avenues to get what you want done.
So, well, we're gonna go ahead and keep this rolling. We're gonna because I want to spend a little bit more time on high spots because we got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. So yeah. Unfortunately, that means at this time that we are going to have to. If you're wearing any kind of hat wear, please remove it and please rise as we have the playing.
Oh. Real quick, Rodell, before you play that.
Yes.
We might have to. This particular person who's singing the national anthem has gotten herself in trouble again.
Yeah, and, we will have to bring that up. I will bring that up in afterwards.
Meeting.
Yes. Yeah. I know what you're talking about, and I don't want to.
I know. I just want to make sure everyone's in our circle aware because
Yeah. So all right. So here to honor our country is the singing of our national anthem. That is so painful. Just
it is. Is there a way, if we wanted to get away from the mocking version of that song, could we play the version that Hendrix played on the morning of Woodstock back in '69, or is that copyrighted?
It's probably copyrighted. We get knocked with copyrights quite a bit, so
yeah,
we'll have to make sure remember to put that in the chat in our production meeting chat. So
yeah,
I'll forget because I have a really bad memory. So
I've been buying surplus of these little guys lately, and I've been every time we do a show now, I'm keeping a journal log so we can if we have to go back next show, I can be like, well, on this day you said so.
Yeah, and also because there's so much wrestling going on right now, you could forget what happened last week and it still be relevant for what's coming up this week. So
it's crazy because we don't get to cover everything too. Like we do the 2.5 hours we do. It seems like it flies by, and we don't even maybe hit 40. We only maybe hit 45% of what is going on in the industry.
Yeah, yes, I completely agree. So we're gonna go ahead and jump right on into it. We're gonna go ahead and talk about we're gonna play some DJ Money. We're gonna get into the Wrestle Talk podcast high spot segment.
Mic check. Yeah. All right. Wrestle Talk podcast. DJ Money. Yeah. Let's go. Welcome to High Spots, where we pop news like lamb chops. We dog shop, coming through the screens of a laptop. And non-stop like a runner's speeches of blacktop. We hit hard like chair shots and backdrops. Like a spark flash, look like a belly flop. Now that's hard. We up to speed while they stay slow. Wrestle Talk Podcast, now they know. We about to start the show.
All right, Justin, we're going to go ahead and dive right on into it because we were kind of already talking about it a little bit ahead of time, but we'll go ahead and just talk about what were your thoughts on New Japan AEW Forbidden Door? What were some of your favorite matches and why?
All right, well, I'll just jump on right in. I'm going to give the show out of 5, a 4.0 out of 5. I'm going to give it just a solid A. The first couple matches, MJF and
Tanahashi.
I gave that a 2.5 out of 5. It was a decent starter. Kind of felt like it was a house show match, with MJF winning with the power of the ring punch.
Mm-hmm.
It just but the show, it was a good start to the show. Punk and Kojima, that was a slow build, and it turned into a competitive match, which I liked. Match of the night, everybody's saying it's a tie for me between. Well, no, it's not. Ospreay and Omega tore the house down for 40 minutes. You saw a move that we haven't seen in a long time that he hit on Omega.
There's probably a reason why, because
because it'll kill you if you don't take it right. And that Tiger Driver 91, oh my God, I'm not gonna lie, I marked out. That show had me marking out. And then the Danielson and Okada fight was another fantastic bout. And I'm glad they closed the show out with that. And knowing that Danielson for 10 minutes wrestled with a broken forearm.
Hold on, I got that picture. I'm gonna throw it up over our beautiful faces right there. That's a pretty. That's one. I guess the good thing is it looks like it's a pretty clean break. But
Rodell, have you ever broken anything before?
No, I have not broken anything. My mom broke her arm before she moved out of the house. She fell up on some stairs and really broke it. She had to have 2 surgeries on it, and she has like metal plates in her arm. But
he wrestled for 10 goddamn minutes.
And
just I guess the adrenaline, but how do you I can't even fathom.
It was 10. Knowing Brian and Okada, it was probably 10 balls to the wall minutes.
Those last 10 minutes, though, he improvised. That submission he had Okada tap out to was so. I just love it because you don't see stuff like that. And I'm a big Sting is my favorite wrestler of all time. But I really do think they shouldn't have put that trios matches between Omega and Ospreay and Danielson and Okada. I think they should have probably maybe put Ospreay and Omega more toward the middle, and then Danielson and Okada at the end. But that trios match, I love seeing Sting, but it really showed that he's every day old of 63, 64 years old, and
they probably put it where it was to kind of like cool you down after the Omega Ospreay match. So
so in that match, it just from start to finish, and that 10-man tag with the Blackpool Combat Club against the Elite, some of these matches, it's the first time really kind of noticing some of these guys, and seeing guys like Suzuki teaming up with Jericho and Guevara. That was I really never watched him before, and now I'm going online trying to find everything I can about him because he seems like a tough son of a bitch.
Oh, he very very much is. He's when he came over last year, I believe he came over and he did some shows in the States for AEW. And he rolled through St. Louis and had a big hoss fight with somebody. I believe it was Calvin Tankman, but he takes and his music is infectious. they sing along to his music. So I mean, it was kind of a weird pairing though with Jericho and Guevara. But I mean, I know what this you're just trying to get people into the show. So
Yeah, well, supposedly they've seen before. And did you see that forearm that he gave Darby? Like, okay, so he was, they were going back and well, they weren't going back and forth. Darby was trying to go toe to toe, but in that last forearm, it floored Darby, and it was hilarious too because he pats him on the face, and then all of a sudden, bam, and it looked like he killed him. And Darby is a bump machine, and I love it. And I'm going probably all over the place with that show, but it was just so many great stuff.
There's
what are your thoughts?
There was so much to it. I watched the I was having some issues with my computer, so getting it. So I've seen highlights of it. And crowd reactions is what gets me. It's just amazing. But I did see the MJF the opening match. Canada didn't really have a whole lot of love for CM Punk. I mean,
no. But it was a mixed crowd, though. It seemed like he was getting booed and cheered.
Yeah, it was kind of one of those maybe even 50-50, 60-40 type thing. But yeah, they were not as receptive to him in Canada as they were in Chicago. So
no, and you know what? I love it. He's getting a reaction. That's what the wrestling, what wrestling needs. He's getting a reaction of some sort. You can love him, you can hate him, and that's what is enjoyable about being a wrestling fan.
And he doesn't. And as a wrestler, you don't care if you get booed or you get booed or you get cheered. You're still going to get paid. So I mean,
no, yeah, that's true. And stop me if you think I'm going too far into high spots, but seeing him win that match and knowing that the next, this Thursday they're having three more of those Owen Hart Memorial Tournament matches, and one of them is in the same bracket as Punk, and whoever wins it faces Punk. It's Roderick Strong against Samoa Joe. And either one of those men who win, they're going to put on a classic, but people are, I think, jonesing for another revisit to Joe and Punk.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're getting that in Wembley. I think we're getting that.
You think so? I think that's where.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think that's.
I'm sorry.
I think that's where we're heading because that's what they said that Punk's first real feud on Collision was going to be against Joe, but I mean, I missed all that was kind of the time where I was out and not really paying attention to wrestling, but apparently Punk and Joe had like some really hardcore matches in Ring of Honor. And I say hardcore, I don't mean hardcore, but I mean, was he the one, was those the two that did the 75-minute Iron Man match or something like that?
I believe so, but there's a lot of stuff on YouTube, and one of them, right now you can watch the first thing that pops up when you type in Samoa Joe, CM Punk is their match number one in the Punk trilogy is like an hour and 15 minutes long. So if you want to go back and watch that, they just have history, and it's just. I really think, with all these outlets, you got the Ring of Honor Fight Club. I think that's the app where you can
Honor Club or something.
Honor Club, and you can go back and watch all that historical stuff. Like, there's so much we have in our lifetime, Rodell. It's so hard to cover. And thank God, I go back to my father. He never liked pro wrestling, but for some reason, he bought me the February '93 issue of the WWF magazine with Yokozuna on the cover. And that was my intro to love of professional. I took that magazine everywhere. And to this day, I still have it. I have it in a plastic wrap. And I used to collect wrestling magazines all the time. I had them for years and years, and then I got rid of them. But I always kept that issue. But we're just so spoiled right now. We're getting stuff that we wouldn't think. I do believe they say they might save it for Japan. The ending of the trilogy, but I do believe that Wembley might get Ospreay Omega 3. I'm hoping because they're wanting to stack this card, and if Danielson's ready by the time they get here for Wembley, I think it's going to be Okada and Danielson again. So I think they're going to try to stack the card. I think this show is going to be like their Mania this year, and I'm just real happy with how wrestling's going right now. Because we also, as soon as we're done talking AEW, there's so much shit going on in the WWE that it just, whoever's listening to this show tonight is going to have a lot to get to digest.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, it was a good show. We're rolling towards All Out. They're gonna stack it because they've already sold 70,000 tickets for it. So they've sold quite a few tickets for it. So it's gonna be. I don't know who you're. I think you're probably gonna get MJF versus
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole. Sorry, my brain went.
No, that's why I'm here, brother. We're here working together. We're gel.
I would guess you're probably going to get Sting versus Jericho in some form.
I do. I'm worried. I think because they're having a trios match this tomorrow night on AEW Dynamite. I don't know. I think they're going to turn that into a spot where because they got to make Jericho look good. I don't think they're going to have a decisive winner in that match. I think it's going to be a beatdown on Darby and Sting, in my opinion. And somehow they're going to. I don't know. Do you think Sting can do one more singles match in his career, or do you think they've been protecting him every match he's had? He's been undefeated in AEW. Every match he's been undefeated in AEW, and every match he's had has been in a tag or a trios match of some sort,
or some kind of a hardcore match where you can He's been in a couple of hardcore matches. He's been in a couple of hardcore tag team matches because those matches you can hide people in that. You can hide people. You can hide someone.
You can hide the flaws of
yes. It's kind of.
By the way, go ahead.
I was just saying it's kind of the same with Jeff Hardy right now. It's like Jeff Hardy needs to. He's kind of off TV now because they're in Canada, and Canada has real harsh DUI rules. They don't mess around with DUIs.
No.
So.
Also, the other day, supposedly there's a video going around from him in a house show from last week. He completely botched the Whisper in the Wind and almost broke his neck. And you know what? He's what is he? 41, 42,
something like that. I mean, he's not old, but he's not.
No.
But that's a hard. It's a hard 40. It's a hard 40.
Here's the thing: the reason it's a hard 40 is because of unfortunately his after hour shenanigans he's been doing. And it probably doesn't help with him trying to stay active and stuff. And I would love to see them build up the Hardys to give them one more tag team title run. Wouldn't you like to see that? Rodell?
Yeah, well, for nostalgia purposes, I just did a quick Google search. He's 45. So
damn, I didn't know. It's just he's.
But it's a hard. It's a hard 45.
And he's risked his life. He was on par to. They wanted him to be the next thing in the WWE. They tried to pull the trigger a handful of times, giving him the heavyweight strap. And it just his demons, his inner demons. If you remember from 2011's Victory Road, he came out inebriated against Sting trying to, when they had the title match, the main event. I don't know if you remember that, but it was a debacle.
Well, was that the one at the Impact where it was like the Scorpions, where Bischoff called the audible?
Yeah, he audible. Yeah, it was Victory Road. He called the audible. Wasn't even a main event, and Sting put the death drop on him and forced him to stay down for 3.
Yes.
So,
because Bischoff came out and told him and shook both their hands and was like, "Yeah, you're gonna Scorpion death drop him. You're gonna force him to take that pin." And I believe he told Jeff Hardy the same thing, but I don't think he remembered it. So
no. But no. Rodell, what was your favorite? Really, what was your favorite about the show?
I think my favorite match was would probably been the Omega Ospreay match, just because it was hard hitting, it was brutal. The Tiger Driver scared me when I seen the replays of it, and I've watched it a couple times, and I follow a bunch of people on TikTok, all these wrestling creators that do watch-alongs during the shows and stuff. And the one guy saw the Tiger Driver and literally jumped out of his chair because it was that harsh. Because at first you look at it, he took that on. It looked like he took it on his straight down, kind of like an Austin pile driver thing. But
he took it. He got his head tucked at the last second.
Very last second.
Omega is probably one of the best to ever lace up the boots. A lot of people, I just his style. Like I I don't know. I'm gonna shoot my shot here and say Omega might win PWI 500 #1 this year.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. I don't think it would be his first time winning it, but I mean, yeah, he's since he's come back from injury, he's been on kind of a different level. And I know they keep him off of some shows to keep him kind of more healthy because he's still technically recovering from all of his injuries. So,
yeah, it was just a great. I believe it. It might be one. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was better than Mania. I really do. I think Forbidden Door was better than both nights of Mania. The only thing that was great about Mania was the Bloodline storyline at the end of Mania Night 2. I really don't have too many memories. Besides, they had the triple threat match with Gunter and McIntyre and Sheamus. That was a classic. But besides that, I really don't remember much. From the Mania compared to Forbidden Door, and there's so much great stuff about Forbidden Door.
We could probably do a whole wrap-up show just on going
on every
match by match on because we're forgetting something that was there, and if someone
no, go ahead. I'm sorry, Rodell.
I was gonna say if someone wants to put their favorite matches into the comments, we'll throw them up there because there were so many good matches, so many people that. Not a lot of Americans get to see because New Japan is on at such weird times. So,
and also too, I'm sorry, I'm looking. I got notes from yesterday that I have notes here, and I also have notes on my desktop work computer that I have. They did something financial wise for Forbidden Door that it was a success financially. Like 1.6 million people viewed it, and
I believe it.
Yeah, and it was more than last year's Forbidden Door. They said like last year only did 1.4 million buys. So
and last year's Forbidden Door was we were supposed to get Bryan Danielson and Okada last year at Forbidden Door, but Bryan Danielson got injured. There's a lot of injuries to key players that were going to be a part of it, so that's why last year's Forbidden Door was kind of clunky. This year, everything seemed to work out for him, with the exception of CM Punk versus Kenta, which I think everyone was kind of expecting.
Yeah, there has to, that's some real life dislike between the two. So, and what's funny is, they probably, that would have really lined up that Forbidden Door card on Sunday. What did you think of the 10-man, the Blackpool Combat against the Elite?
You can't go wrong with any of the people that were in that match. I mean, Eddie Kingston, finally getting a true Eddie Kingston. I almost called him Dean Ambrose. I meant to say John. I almost called him Dean Ambrose, but it's John Moxley. They had a confrontation, and I think you're gonna see those two tear it up somewhere down the line.
I think they're going to be at Wembley. I think they're going to put Kingston against Moxley at Wembley at All In.
Yeah, and then but you also gotta start building up to AEW's next pay-per-view, which is All Out in Chicago. So
isn't that after All In?
It is after All In. So All In is their
yeah. Actually, I got the dates for the next Dynamite. They're doing all 4 shows in Chicago. Dynamite and Rampage on the 30th. They're doing Collision on the September the 2nd, and they're doing All Out on September the 3rd.
So maybe they can build up Moxley and Kingston for all out in Chicago. That would be really good. I believe is that where the finals of the Owen tournaments are going to be, or is the finals going to be in Wembley?
I thought they were doing it at All In. And
okay, it could be. It would make sense to do it there, but I mean.
Now, on the other side of that, you got Juice Robinson against Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs against Dustin Rhodes. What do you? I am a big Ricky Starks fan. Ricky Starks is legitimately. I didn't quite like him when I first saw him, but when he turned it around for me whenever he got into a verbal altercation with MJF and was able to hold his own and not. Yes, that was. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
And that's where I was like, oh, he may have just turned his corner right there. That was really, really good because a lot of people can get buried by MJF, not buried, but play second fiddle in a promo war against MJF.
Yes. Now tell me this: when I watched that promo, I know it's the one you're talking about because it was from a Dynamite show.
Yeah.
They, Stark just won a battle royal to earn a shot at MJF of some sort. That ring. When they were in the ring together, did you get Rock Triple H vibes off of that promo?
Kind of, yeah. Because I mean, and because they're
up and comers. They're the same as Triple H and The Rock were when DX was going and the Nation of Domination was going back in '98. They're striving to get up that ladder, and that's the competitiveness, right?
And they're both young. I mean,
yes.
they're both young, so they're going to be around for a while. So you're going to have this progressive storyline where they'll feud, then they'll go away and do their own little things for a while, but then it always seems to work back to them, filter it back in.
Yeah.
So
hey, did you see the robe that MJF was wearing Sunday? He knows how to get that heat, doesn't he?
He wears that robe in Japan. He's probably not going to make it back.
No.
Because they love their New Japan over there. That's their church almost. So it's
we had that night before we go on to the next one. I'm sorry if I'm talking over you.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
I start off like an old car. If you can tell, like when I start the show, I'm like an old car. I kind of have, this type of demeanor. But once I get into the thick of things, I'm like
the blood and the oil start.
It's like you put. So when I had back in 2001, I had a 1989 Chrysler LeBaron, and I bought it for my aunt. I think she sold it to me for $1 just so I could get the tax paperwork for it. It was deoxidized by the sun because she had it in Baltimore, Maryland. It was close to the ocean, so it looked like it was a car that was in a firestorm. It was rusted. All of the body was a maroon color, but it looked like it was from the movie The Road Warrior. And it had a 4-cylinder engine, but what got me was that it said it had a turbocharger on the engine. So I just got done seeing the Road Warrior with Mel Gibson back, and so what I was doing was I was buying bottles of octane booster and putting them in my gas tank every time I'd buy gas, thinking it was gonna give me a little pep in my step. It didn't do jack shit. So whenever I'm on here, it's like someone's putting a little octane booster in me as the show gets going because we forgot to talk about the fatal 4-way between Orange Cassidy, Shibata,
oh yes, that was
Zack
really
Sabre Jr. and Garcia, Daniel Garcia. That match was what got the show really going.
Right.
Those four put on a clinic.
They did. Orange Cassidy is having one of the greatest runs as international champion or whatever they call it. And he doesn't seem to have a bad match. He really, and I don't really dig it. I don't really dig the gimmick because it's like super chill, laid back type of gimmick, but man, he can put on a great match. And Zack Sabre Jr. is good. I don't like that New Japan belt, that New Japan TV title.
It's a little awkward. I like it. It's different. I could watch Zack Sabre Jr. and Shibata beat the hell out of each other all day. By the way,
right? Shibata, and then
they put on and what's Garcia's dance? What is that dance?
I have no idea. It's just something new he started doing. I don't know if he's trying to do a Chippendale character or something. That's
what I thought, and I was like, this is kind of awkward. Don't do that. I would not pull that off in a wrestling match, especially with someone like you, here theoretically. Would you dance like that if you were facing Goldberg? No, because he's gonna tear you in half with a spear. Anyways, it was the 25th title defense when he won that match on Sunday. It was the 25th victory for him with that belt, and since he's had that belt.
And he's one of the few champions that you see just about on every show defending the belt. You're always seeing Dynamite open up with a international AEW international title match. It seems like Orange Cassidy's always the first person you see.
I love how they're pulling it off because every show he's looking more and more like a sponsorship for tape because his body has so much. His hand, his wrist, his hand, his elbow, his neck, and his back were all messed up going into the match. They all those guys focused on that during the match. So he won by the skin of his teeth after Sabre hit, I believe, Garcia with his finisher, and he pushed out Shibata and rolled up Garcia for the win in a crucifix pin. So he won by the skin of his teeth. That was the story. But that was a fantastic match. I gave that 4 out of 5.
I was gonna say, yeah, Orange Cassidy's quickly becoming one of my favorite wrestlers to watch, just because, like I said, I didn't really like the whole the wherever whatever gimmick, just kind of like, the half-hearted, thumbs up, but you can't deny it. He can go in that ring. He can go in that ring.
Yeah.
And, what do you know?
Go ahead.
What do you feel about Kevin Kelly back? Doing.
I loved it. I loved it because he's the New Japan guy right now, and I really thought it was interesting having his take on things during that show with the likes of Taz and Excalibur, and then we had Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy.
Sonata, and then turn on Hook.
Right.
And that's when Taz left the broadcast booth, and I loved it because they said he left because to check on Hook, but it was to give Shivani on airtime, and I love that. With that being said, I believe it's gonna be Hook against Jungle Boy at All In at Wembley.
Mm-hmm.
They're setting up some matches right now for that show, and it's gonna be great. I'm going all over the place, but one aspect that I missed seeing on the show. We didn't see the tag team champions. We didn't see FTR.
No, we didn't see FTR. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the deal with that was. Maybe they just couldn't find a suitable opponent for him. I don't know.
But I do believe, we're talking. We could talk all night about AEW. But from my watch, it says the 27th, which means in the foreseeable couple days here, we're going to be having a WWE pay-per-view, if I'm correct.
Yes, Saturday. There's a couple of questions we have.
Are we getting room to breathe with all these shows? Do you feel like it feels like everything is bang, 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 and it's because they're wanting to be competitive with one another. But and it seems like luckily we have streaming services that we can tape stuff. Remember back in the day when you had to be there to tape something.
You had to be there to start it, and especially if you were going to be gone for a pay-per-view, but you still wanted to watch it, but you had to be there to sign up for it and order it, and then set it up on the VCR, and Lord knows you hope someone didn't come out and accidentally take out your tape, and it didn't record, because then you'd be mad, and your parents would be mad because you're out money and stuff like that.
Or the tape ran out before the end of the show.
Right. So it's a lot easier nowadays to watch wrestling than it was.
Yes.
Because even if you miss it and you don't get a chance to watch it on streaming, you can find enough highlights out there to get the general gist of it. And that's what I've done with most. I did see, like I said, I saw the MJF match, I saw the Punk match, and I did see the Fatal 4-Way. Those were the ones that I was able to watch fully, but everything else was piecemealed together. But it still worked. And now we're going, before AEW goes to the London, WWE is going to take over the O2 Arena and for Money in the Bank, and we've got, obviously that means 2 Money in the Bank matches. Money in the Bank is Sunday. Who's leaving with the briefcase? Hold on, I've got pictures. Do you want to start with the men or the women?
Whatever floats your boat, my friend.
Let's start with the women, because I think there's more of a question on them. To me, there's more of a question on the men. So the women, there's your women's Money in the Bank: Io Sky, Bayley, Trish Stratus, Zelina Vega, Becky Lynch, and Zoe Stark.
Man. So Becky Lynch, she needs this. She's been having some issues trying to get back in the title hunt. She needs this match. Well, here's just going to stop her is Trish and
Zoe. Zoe Stark.
Zoe Stark, man. Zoe Stark cost her that win against Trish at the last pay-per-view at God bless it, at Night of Champions, right? That's the last pay-per-view for WWE, right?
Yes, I believe so.
So I don't think it's going to either be Trish, Stark, or Becky. Bayley, on the other hand, Bayley has, she's just now kind of getting back in this Hunt right now, she's been managing a lot. I don't think she's going to take it. The other two, can you please say the other two? The younger ones.
Zelina Vega, Bailey, Io Sky,
Sky, and Zelina. It's in between those two. You got the LWO with Zelina, and Sky is with Bailey. Am I correct?
Yes.
Bailey, I have a feeling. I think Sky's going to win this. I think it's they're gonna she just came off of being in a tag team with Bailey managing them, and I think she's gonna pull the rug under Bailey and take that briefcase.
Or is it gonna happen the opposite way, and Bailey's gonna push Io off of it and screw Io out of it,
and get Bailey back in the title picture? Because she's a name that could go. Yeah, you know what? That could be great too. But here is the thing. It makes me nervous for the women, because whoever wins is either going to have to face Asuka, Charlotte, because I think Asuka and Charlotte have a title match, right? And Money in the Bank for the title. Yeah,
I believe so. Yes, no, they have a title match this. They have a title match this Friday, and there's a lot of people thinking that it's probably going to end up being Asuka, Bianca, and Charlotte at the actual pay-per-view.
Okay, so you got those three right there for the SmackDown Women's title. So whoever wins the briefcase, they get the decision of which title they go after. Or you go after the Raw Women's Champion, and that is Rhea Ripley. And by God, she is decimating the women's division whenever she's in that ring.
Mm-hmm.
So.
She's entertaining. She's become so. She's become so entertaining. She was just usually this big, strong, person, but being in the Judgment Day has brought out part of her character.
Yeah, and she's probably MVP of Judgment Day, in my opinion.
The Dominic is hilarious.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing, He's facing Cody. I think they're Cody's gonna make sure they have they're gonna try to have match tonight, I believe, between those two.
Yeah, and Cody seems to make everything entertaining. So, yes. and you can't and everyone's like, why is Cody going down the roster to face Dominic? Well, it's because they don't want to. Everyone was like, oh, they're gonna do Cody versus Brock at Money in the Bank. I'm like, why would you do that at Money in the Bank? That's the SummerSlam match. That's your SummerSlam match, and it's going to be some kind of a stipulation. And one thing I think with Cody and Brock, and someone brought this up, it's never been told why Brock attacked Cody.
Yeah, it's never has. Yeah, and all I could say is he just wanted to be a bully, Brock.
Or is Hunter paying him as payback? Oh,
you know what? That'd be a nice little wrap up to the storyline to get Trips back into the light, bringing him back on screen.
Yeah, and we know Hunter can't wrestle anymore, but
well, God, Brock is the best person to put in your say, hey, I can't be on the show. Brock's going to take my spot. Have fun. So
and it could always be that Triple H has just paid him to be a hired
gun.
Yeah. But of course, with a Money in the Bank, the women. So I think my official pick, I think, is going to be. I'm gonna hem and haw. I'm gonna say it's either gonna be Becky or it's either gonna be Becky or Bailey.
Okay. All right. They want to get the big name. They got to get the big name over for that match. I'd like to see the younger talent win, because I know this sounds crazy, but Becky and Bailey, besides Trish, are the veterans of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's crazy to say that because they're still young.
Yeah, I hope they don't go the Trish Stratus route just for nostalgia purposes. But I think you're heading towards Trish and Becky blowing off their feud at SummerSlam too. I think SummerSlam is going to have a lot of blow-off feuds. I mean, we've got all these blow-offs. Then it gets a little more interesting to me with the men's Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Here are your participants: Damian Priest, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Butch, Logan Paul, Santos Escobar, and Ricochet. And I have about 3 different ways we'll go with this.
Go ahead.
Most people, the reason why Logan Paul was probably added to the match is because everyone was automatically saying that LA Knight was going to win the Money in the Bank. And I can see that because, I mean, he's gotten himself over. I mean, they wanted to make the man a manager because of his age, but then Hunter saved that. So I think LA Knight's going to win it. However, I can make a good argument for Damian Priest winning it, because what if Finn Balor wins the title from Seth and cashes in same night on Finn Balor, put a little dissension in the Judgment Day, or you have Damian Priest hold it over Finn Balor. I don't think Seth's going to lose the title yet because he's only had it for a short period of time.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are like, well, Logan Paul's going to win it because he's going to cash in on Seth Rollins. I'm like, no. No.
Here's the thing. Are you?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. I would love. I'm getting off of LA Knight vibes of Randy Orton in 2004 when Orton won the Rumble, or not the Rumble, but he won a Battle Royal on Monday Night Raw to face Benoit at SummerSlam. I know it's kind of faux pas to say Benoit's name, and we don't condone what he did. But at the time, he was a champion, and I'm kind of getting those vibes. Just think if Rollins wins his match against Balor, the build-up and the mic time that LA Knight and Seth Rollins can have leading into SummerSlam.
Oh yeah, that would be. So you don't necessarily need a Money in the Bank to build up the LA Knight Seth Rollins match. You can, I mean,
no. But if he won, it'd be nice because it'd be a reason why he, the next time he wins Saturday or Sunday, whenever this paper. I think it's Sunday, right? Saturday, right?
Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. So LA Knight wins Monday. He announces he's cashing it in at SummerSlam, and they officially make Rollins against LA Knight. But here's the thing: they're wanting to get numbers. Do you think, because Logan Paul and Rollins tore the house down at Mania, I think Logan Paul is going to do well in this match because he tore the house down at the Rumble when it was him and Ricochet in the Rumble together. Ricochet's in this match. I don't think Ricochet or Nakamura are going to win this match, unfortunately. Also, the LWO representative,
Santos Escobar?
Escobar. Even though he's doing some solid work on SmackDown, I don't, he's going to do some solid work at the pay-per-view, but I just don't think he's winning it.
And I think it's the smartest thing that the WWE could have ever done was put those guys in the LWO with Rey Mysterio, because they can learn from him.
Yeah.
And Santos has got that look.
Yes, he does. He has a look. Damian Priest, man, I really, there's rumors, like you said, between Damian Priest and LA winning the Money in the Bank, but I don't see Damian headlining a pay-per-view yet.
But you also got to think that the Money in the Bank is really it's a cash in. They can cash it in at the person's worst time. So it's
that, and with SummerSlam coming, and you got and Roman. Also, everybody's forgetting that Roman's a damn champion too. Like, no one's thinking that they're going to cash in on. Everybody's thinking they're going to cash in on Rollins, but you got to put the Roman aspect in. Or what type of everybody's kind of forgetting about Roman at the moment. I think.
Yeah, because they've kind of got their own little thing going. So
yeah, it's like they're off in another federation. It doesn't even think they're part of the WWE right now at the moment, and I'm looking forward to that. The Civil War between the Usos.
This match.
That's going to be great, and I think so I turned in some high spot questions. I think had to do with those guys
being the one of wrestling's greatest tag teams.
It's just they've been at it since what, 2012 in the WWE?
Yeah. And if you look at old clips of them, they look nothing like they did back then. They came out to the Samoan tribal dance.
Yes, but they've just been so successful. They've never had a bad year. If you think about it, they just keep ascending that ladder. And at some point, one of them is going to have to pull the trigger, and I think it's going to be Jay. Jay's the one that
Jay's the one that kicked him first.
Yeah.
No, Jimmy's the one that kicked him. And then Jay kicked him again at SmackDown, and then they double kicked him. So
okay.
While we're talking about some stuff, we got someone that comes on every week. It's we got Big Daddy P is in the house. But we'll wait till he gets back to his chair before I bring him in because he's not
bring him in.
Because I know last week you had some really good conversations with him. So
I did. Oh, okay.
well, it sounded like you and Renee and Dewan, everyone was having spirited conversations the entire time. So
it just we all like to talk wrestling. We all when Big Daddy P's on, he makes me feel. He makes me feel better about the shitty things I do during the week.
So he's back. He's back. We're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and hit his theme music because we would be mad if we didn't hit his theme music. So.
There he is.
Big Daddy P, how's it going, sir?
You guys crack me up, man.
Why?
Let me tell you, why is it when I walk in the room, all of a sudden people feel like they have to straighten up? You don't have to do that, okay? I know it's your spirit inside going, hey, don't act like an ass. But even I sometimes act like an ass. So don't ever put me on a pedestal that I can knock myself off of.
Yeah, you're a good guy.
So
I'm just a human, man. I'm just me. You know what I mean?
So we brought you in because we were having some discussions about we're talking about how there's so much wrestling related content going on right now. We had Forbidden Door Sunday, and we got Money in the Bank this weekend, and we were talking about the Usos being one of the greatest tag teams. What is your feeling? Okay. I'm not going to say not of all. I don't think he meant of all time, but current day, modern day. Let's say modern day. If you want to say like 2000s on or 2010s on.
Well, what makes them better? The fact that they held every belt because Vince or somebody, Triple H, decided to give them every single belt. Is that what makes them the best?
No, I know because they actually have put on a real. They put on string. I very rarely remember a bad match that they've had.
I mean, they're all the same. That's the only challenge I have. I was listening to part of the conversation, and this goes back to last week and this week to watch Orange Cassidy beat three other guys or four other. I swear, it just makes me nauseous. You can't. It's kind of like trying to push Roman. They pushed Roman. We wouldn't accept it in the beginning. All of a sudden, he comes down with leukemia, and now we all accept him? Huh. Is that marketing?
I never did, still.
Is that marketing? Again, we're talking about pro wrestling here. I think the best tag team, in my opinion, I think the most original tag team was Cass and Enzo.
True. I like Cass and Enzo. They weren't the greatest of workers, but they had a great personality.
They ended them too quickly. I don't think they gave them enough time.
No, and it ended up Enzo is such a sweet guy now. He's been so humbled throughout the years of running into the ring and knocking himself out and saying shit that he shouldn't say and doing things he shouldn't do. He's had some humble pie, but and when the Usos are who the Usos are, I think that and again, I've been so busy with work and stuff lately that I've kind of been fast because I DVR Raw and SmackDown. Now I can get through SmackDown in about 15 minutes. And I think last night Raw, it took me 20 minutes to get through 3 hours. I wanted to see LA Knight. I was so happy that Rey Mysterio put LA Knight over. That guy, I'm sorry. He's got everything that it takes to be a WWE superstar.
And that's what we were saying. What that was really smart. It was smart for the WWE to put the LWO guys with Rey Mysterio to give him it gives him a little bit of credibility, but also gives him somebody to work backstage with, because Santos Escobar has the look that Latino look that they're looking for.
And so does what's her name, little one,
Zelina Vega.
Yeah, when she played Paige in that movie.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. But I thought the problem that I have with LWO is kind of like the problem I have with the movie industry. They keep remaking stuff. That's the only challenge I have with it. Now, it does give respect and props to the Hispanic WWE wrestlers. I like how the timing worked for them to elevate themselves so that they could go to Puerto Rico where Bad Bunny was. Again, it's all strategic positioning. That's what makes WWE better than every other organization, is they're not thinking about next month like AEW is. They're already at next year's WrestleMania, and they work backwards. Mm-hmm. And from that backwards formula, now I don't work for them, so I don't know this. It's a guess. But from that backwards formula, you have injuries that are going to take place. And I bet they have a big board or something that they use with little picture things of who they're going to do. But this Uso story specifically has been drawn out extra long purposely.
Because it's still making money.
Not only that, but the challenge is now that like I thought LA Knight was a baby, but he's a heel now.
And he could be whatever he wants to be.
He's a tweener. Yeah, he's like Austin. He was a tweener. So
is Roman still beloved?
People still like Roman. Roman's kind of like is kind of in this John Cena type situation where people love him, people hate him. He's become really polarizing. So I'm interested to see where they're going to go with it. I thought we were kind of.
I don't care.
I thought we were.
And I'm so and I love Cody Rhodes. I do, but I know what he's going to do before he does it. It's almost nauseating. It's bullshit. I hate to say it, but his smile, the way he comes out, those camera shots, the whole thing is just bullshit. In my opinion, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying that's my opinion. At first it was cool. I love the fact that he got buried by Brock Lesnar and then come back and buried Brock. And now Brock is supposed to come back after being buried, which he's been buried so many times. Ever since the streak, he's kind of been, the streak was his high, and now he's doing this. I don't see any opportunity for Brock to go that way. So I just see him going down and going out.
I think we're going to get the blow off of the Cody Brock thing at SummerSlam and some kind of a match with a stipulation. I don't know what it. Apparently, they said they're going to bring back a concept that they haven't done in a while. So maybe I don't know what they're planning on it. And people were talking about how Cody Rhodes has gone down the card because he's wrestling Dominic at Money in the Bank.
Of course. Well, and not only that, he kind of reminds me of the Monty Python. It's only a flesh wound. You ever seen that where they cut the arms off and the legs off, and then Cody's going to come out with a whole body cast because they've beaten him up? It's just like I don't know. I don't know where honestly, they should have let him win at WrestleMania over Roman and win it and be done with it and move on to the next one, because I'm just getting tired of it. Now when I see, did he just go against the Miz or something? Who in the last couple of weeks, it's just how do you bring this guy up from the top? And now, as you said, now going against Dominic, it just doesn't make sense.
No, he needs a quick win, and they're going to have him have a quick win against Dominic, I believe, at the pay-per-view, so he can go on to Brock. So, just something, just a what do you call it? Just a refresher. Have him in there just to keep him on screen. Do a quick little match with Dominic, kind of like what they, what they've done in the past with. Anyways, I digress.
He completely. You could see that train's line of thought just keep going off to the side.
When they had Roman Reigns against Buddy Rogers a couple years ago on SmackDown, it tore the house down. They're going to have a little match, Cody and Dominic, and they'll get the crowd going. It's just a propeller for Cody to go against Brock, and then see what happens. I really don't know what they're going to do next, though, with Cody after Brock. It just.
They're going to have to do something. They're going to have to do something to fill the July pay-per-view. I don't know. This might be the July, but there might not be another pay-per-view until SummerSlam.
Here's my thing with Cody. What ruined it for me from the get-go is when they announced Cody for the Rumble, coming back from his pectoral surgery. They should have kept that a secret. And if they would have kept that a secret and surprised at the Rumble, he would be flying high still. I think they ruined it by announcing him for the Rumble weeks before, and everyone knew who was coming out at number 30. That just kind of ruined it for everyone, I think.
Plus, also, they kept advertising the Roman Reigns 1,000-day thing.
Yeah.
Like before WrestleMania, I think. So it was like you knew, what are they not going to celebrate that because he loses? So it was almost like I had a feeling he was going to lose anyway. I just didn't know, again, that they were going, this every single time I think I got them figured out. I don't. They either do something really stupid or really brilliant.
Yeah. I mean,
they keep us on our toes. So
that's their job.
And you are right about the difference between storyline telling in AEW than WWE. AEW seems to book for the show, and they
not the long run.
They're not looking at long-term storylines.
I just saw the other night the Orange Cassidy. What was it? A Fatal 4-Way
at Forbidden Door. It was Shibata Garcia. Zack Sabre Jr. for the international title.
I didn't need to. I already knew who was going to win. They're already trying to I want to see Roman Reigns go against Orange Cassidy and kick his ass. And show him what real wrestling is all about.
Oh,
I know. I'm just,
freshly
squeezed. It's just, and boy, it looks like, what's his name is not on tonight, who's in the closet all the time.
No, Alpha is no.
Did he actually come out of the closet finally?
Wasn't he on his porch last week or something?
He was on his porch because there was a back window behind him. He's come out of the closet onto the porch.
Maybe.
Poor Alpha.
That's his business.
We haven't heard from him since last week, so I don't know. I know he's on our messenger, but I haven't heard from him since last week.
Or maybe he got kicked out of the closet, kicked off the porch. Now he doesn't have a place to come on.
That is true. I mean, the next time we're going to see him, he's going to be at a Taco Bell or something.
Hey, or at the library, people going, shh.
Yeah.
It's all good on. And Alpha, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't know all of me. They only know part of me. And the problem with that is that the part that they mostly see is the part of me that's actually the most of me, which is my love for the Lord. But at the same time, my love for the Lord gives me the ability to love everybody else and accept them for who they are. I think a lot of my Christian friends and pastors disagree with me on a lot of things because I'm not here to judge. Even Jesus said, do not judge. Stop judging, because all of us fall short. So I always try in any situation I'm in to at least be likable, but real. You know what I mean? Because I had a potty mouth for a long time, and over the years it's gotten better. Every once in a while, if I have to get someone's attention, I'll say something, but he looks at my heart. He knows my heart. And if and my theory is how the Lord sees me is that if I can love his people, he'll sort out the rest. Because I don't have all the facts. You know what I mean? Now, I have an announcement to make, by the way.
Okay.
Over the last couple weeks, and when Wrestle Talk was first starting, and they made their I don't remember if it was the first or second year, but they had Chris Whaley on, The Masked Saint, and it had to do with the movie, The Masked Saint.
I believe I remember seeing something about that.
I talked to Chris today, and he's coming back on.
Okay.
He's got some updates on what's been going on. He actually got back into the ring. He's in his 70s now, I think.
Oh, wow.
I believe. But he got in the ring, and I haven't even heard the story about that. So I know he's got a lot to talk about. Again, he's got a passion for the business. He wrestled The Undertaker. He's wrestled he's very dear friends with Mark Miro. So what I'm thinking of is asking Chris, hey, Chris, can you get Mark Miro on? Because Mark's got some awesome, he runs a school ministry that's amazing.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Big Daddy. Mark Miro, when he was Johnny B. Bad in WCW, Big Daddy, had some of the greatest opening bouts for like pay-per-views from like 94 to 96. That man could tear it up back in the day. Now he's a motivational speaker, I believe.
So I think he'd be a great guest to have on. So I think we need to pressure Chris when he comes on to have Mark come on again also, because Mark's he's got such an awesome spirit about him, man. His attitude towards life, and people today, young people today, they need to hear that message, man, because right now between TikTok and Instagram and everything else, there's almost more, and I don't want to say negative, but stuff that is just kind of like, if I ever just want to get away from life and just not think about anything, I'll go on TikTok, because I have a TikTok. I don't use, actually, no, I uninstalled it on my network ever since I found out China was using it to spy. And I thought to myself, well, there's two things they're going to see at my home. My wife and I being very affectionate because we love each other, or I'm talking about Jesus. So, but if I don't want the kids on the net, because I've got secure information on my computer that I don't want people to get to. And when I found out that YouTube was a gateway into that data, I uninstalled it. But I still use Instagram and Facebook. But I just think having Mark Miro on would be awesome. So
that'd be fantastic.
So yeah. I just wanted to bring that to them, because I think about a month or two ago about having a special guest on, and I was thinking those two, but I didn't want to open up my mouth until I knew, what I was doing. So, but I can now say that Chris Whaley has been confirmed. I sent Renee his phone number today, so they'll get in touch. But I also want to tie in Mark in there. So I think that would be awesome for the show.
Yeah, yes, definitely. So what have you been up to lately, Perry? Anything good, wild, exciting, interesting?
I just had a pastor's conference this weekend on revival called Repositioning for Revival. That was absolutely awesome. Fired me up, because it made me realize that revival is centered around individuals, not groups. If you think about in the beginning with Noah, before the Lord flooded the earth, there was one guy God used to make that happen. So if one person can change the world like that, and then 8 with the 7 that were with him, and then when the apostles came, when Jesus came, there were 12 people that changed the world. So in this weekend, one of the things that was said about was how revival is based upon individuals. And if I, as an individual, am focused on the Lord's business, not on what the world is doing and all the other crap that's going on, but the Lord's business, it reminds me of the story I've told in the past about the starfish, about the guy who's on top of a mountain. He looks down, he sees the guy on the beach throwing starfish in the water. As he comes down closer, he sees there's thousands of them. And he says to the guy, you can't save them all, can't you? He bends down, picks one up and says, no, but I just saved that one. We have a world filled with hurting people. And if I, as an individual, can love 2 people tonight, and I pour my love on you two, and you two turn around and show your love to other people. Man, this world doesn't have to be that bad. And I think that, and again, prayer is very powerful. I know, and by the way, I heard about Sonny and what he's going through, and he's going to be one of the people and his son of what we pray for, because I lost my mother and father young. I could not imagine if I lost a child. But sometimes things happen, and we don't know why they happen. And the fact that they're going through it now is awful. And it could cause Sonny to say, God, screw you. I want nothing to do with you. And my job is to make sure that doesn't happen, because the answer to the question that he's going to have is, why him? Why is his son going through this? And my answer to you, Sonny, is this. What if your son is encouraging? And what if there's a nurse or somebody who's having a bad day and is depressed, and he cheers them up? And God used that situation to cheer him up. And maybe that was God's plan. I don't know. He could live till he's 100. We have no idea. But people lose children every day. I've lost a baby before it was born, and that devastated me. I couldn't imagine one that I've raised and spent time with. So, Sonny, brother, I feel you. I'm sorry you're going through what you're going through. I promise you the Lord is going to comfort you during these times. And whatever his will is, whatever happens, you know that Wrestle Talk and Big Daddy P is here for you. So you're not going through it alone. There will never be a time that you go through it alone, at least as long as I'm alive. So just know that. And
yeah,
definitely pray for him tonight.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking, man. I mean, people die every day. And just the thought of losing someone is awful. So I know he's struggling, and he is definitely worth praying for.
I reached out to, I sent him a message on Facebook last week when he's starting to go through some more stuff with his son, just to let him know that I was thinking about him. So, you know, sometimes that's all you need is just a little shot that someone's got your back. So,
well, and not only that, he doesn't know why they're going through that. There could be a very legitimate reason that we don't have the facts on, that maybe after the fact, when they're through this, they'll find out. But nothing happens by accident or coincidence. Every disaster or thing that's ever happened in my life has happened for a reason. And I know, even like losing my mom at 7, Dad, when I was 17, Grandma said, okay, I'm selling your house, your dad's house, and you have 15 days to move out of the house. I'm moving to New Orleans to retire. You're on your own. And I was on the Sunset Strip in LA at 17 years old. You think I needed to be in the whiskey and at the Roxy doing all that I was doing day at the age of 17? No, but that was the card I was dealt. And I didn't understand until almost 20 years later that when a friend of mine became homeless, he was younger than me, he became homeless and was on the streets. And when he told me, he called me, he said, man, I know you dealt with this in the past. How did you deal with it? And when I said to him, I understand how you feel, he knew I wasn't full of shit. You know what I mean? He knew that I understood. So bad things sometimes happen. We just don't know why they are. And so our responsibility is to trust God through it and ask him to show us, hey, why am I going through this? You know, because he has a reason. There is no accidents. Even my back surgeries and all that junk that I went through, man, during those times, it was incredible.
And Renee sent it to
Nick Mayo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Nick. That's him.
Yeah, that's Sonny's son. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, no, and like my one of my coworkers, her daughter just went through surgery today. She tore her ACL again, but I say again, it's on the opposite, because a couple of years ago, she's a soccer player and she tore her ACL and part of her MCL too, I believe, on one of her legs. Then over the weekend, she did it again in a soccer game. She just her cleat caught in the turf, and she went to go turn, and the cleat didn't go with it, so it just tore it. And my coworker said she could hear it pop. So she had the surgery today. Everything went good. They fixed it. She's resting, and recovery starts now. But it happens at a weird time, because she goes to school at UK in University of Kentucky, and she has to be able to go back to school and be able to maneuver around in her apartment. So if it would have happened any later in the summer, she might not have been able to do that. So it's timing, you know.
And every situation is different. You know what I mean? We just don't know what God's doing. But I think what we do know about him, based upon his character, based upon what he says in his word about why he does what he does, we know that he's faithful. We know that he's got his reasons for it. So we just have to trust him. And I just know that was Renee on there. So in other words, he's watching. So he commented, Renee, what do you think about Mark Miro? Would that be a good guest for Wrestle Talk? Chime in on that before or after we pray, because I want to know what you think about that. Okay, right. So we have Nick Mayo, and then what was her
name is Peyton.
Peyton, thank you. Do we have any other requests at all like that? I have one. I still don't have a car. My car died. It's
still
the exhaust manifold. Both exhaust manifolds are clogged. They want to replace them. Such an uplifting guy. Miro would be gold. Because, brother, I'm going to make this happen just for you, Renee. But yes, my car, I still don't have a car. My wife has got a bike. She's only 2 miles away from work, so that's cool. But yes, we still don't have a car, and I'm open for an answer, some solution, something at some point, because I just don't.
But I guess it's lucky for you. You can do most of your stuff from home. So.
Oh no, I do all my stuff from home. That's why I weigh 310 pounds now. But Thursday I get to have a colonoscopy, and that's been a one-way street my whole life. So I am really not looking fun, but I am going to be asleep.
You stopped it?
I said, you better at least spank me on the ass when you're done and leave me some coffee, because the fact of going through, I'm not looking forward to this. I'm hoping it gets canceled or something, just because.
Well, apparently, colonoscopy isn't the worst part of it. It's the prep tomorrow night that you're probably going to have to do.
And actually, it just so happens I've got the instructions here, and the medication was delayed, and I don't even know if I have it. So I might not even have it tomorrow, which is fine with me. But at the same time, realistically, guys, if something's wrong, because I've never been checked, what if something's wrong? You know, I want to know. I need to know, because if I don't know, it could just kill me instantly, and I just don't want to die that way. You know?
Yeah, and they say that you should get started working on that kind of stuff at age 45. They pushed it up from 50 to 45. My family doesn't have any. It doesn't have any like history of that kind of those kind of problems. So I was able to get by with just doing the Cologuard thing, the little box thing that they send you. They send it to a lab and check to see if there's any abnormalities, and there was none, so I don't have to worry about that part of it for 3 years again. So
yeah, I don't know that, and then what's the other thing that men of our age have to deal with? Starts with a P.
Something with our prostate.
Yes, our prostate.
Yeah, prostate exam.
My wife tells me I have a large prostate. I guess I don't go down there, so I don't know. She tells me I do, so I guess check on that, because I don't know nothing about it.
You've got Renee dying in the comments with your slap me on the ass and leave me a coffee. Did we kill Perry?
You see, humor is important, guys. It's funny. One of my wives, and I got married at 20, married at 30, married at 40, and married at 49. I finally found the right one. But my third one used to always say, that's your problem. You joke too much. Your language needs to be better. You just need to act. And I'm like, but that's not the way he made me. He gave me a sense of humor for a reason. I'm not going to stop being me to try and be somebody else when that's not the way he made me. I was made in his image. So if you look at a platypus, I think God has a great sense of humor. I mean, he really does.
And sometimes you have to laugh or you're also gonna make yourself cry all the time. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, yes, it's not funny that you have to have a colonoscopy, but if you can make lightheartedness of it, that hey, like you said, it's been a one-way exit. It's been a one-way exit for one-way street the whole entire life. I'm not sure if I like
proactive about your health.
Yeah, well,
That's the
yes,
big thing.
and that's the thing, because see, I don't make money if I'm not working, right? So my excuse for not exercising used to be, well, I have to sit all day. So my wife bought me this desk that I can stand, and then it goes down, and I can sit. So I stand, sit. But I've got either a fracture in my left foot or something, and I haven't been able to walk like I normally do. So that's kind of been a bummer too. So in your guys' prayer time, just pray for my health, because again, if I don't care, if I like, for example, I got to stay away from carbs because diabetes. And I know people that have lost legs, and my biggest fear is that Big Daddy P stops. That's an actual problem with people with diabetes, is they have eating problems, and that's my livelihood. So I just could not, that would, and the vision. That's another thing. If I lose my eye, I can't read. So,
and you can't work on your computer like you would normally.
Correct. Yeah. So you're right. Health is important. And that is definitely something that maybe after tomorrow or the day after, I can turn my focus on. In the meantime, I got to make money. I got to get a car. There's things that have to be done. So,
all right. What? So let's why don't you drop some snippets of truth, and let's go ahead and take care of this real quick, okay?
Absolutely.
Let's do it, Perry.
Your snippet of truth tonight is one word: faithfulness. I think if God is looking for anything, he wants people who are faithful. And he's given each of us a gift, okay? Each one of us have our own gifts. If you're performing in your gift, he will be glorified and people's lives will be changed. If you're focusing or using a gift that's not yours, get back to your gift and state your gift, because ultimately the Lord knows where he wants to put you, and he usually matches the gift with the need. So if you find yourself in a situation where you're locale, wherever you're located at, things aren't going the way you want them, but other people's lives are being impacted, accept the fact that he's working in their lives and the fact that he's using you. The fact that we're co-workers with him. A lot of people, if you ask them, how many churches are there in the world? Many would say millions, but the answer is one: his church. And we are his church. And he is building us up, and he is growing us, and he's taking us, and he wants us to be different than what the world is, not in a way to where we're not including ourselves in the world, because again, sometimes we relate most with people based upon where they're at and what they're going through, based upon our past. Like sometimes people say, well, pastors shouldn't be in a bar. Well, but if that's where the Lord has called him to, and he can meet and encourage people, why would you want to discourage that? So again, each of us have our own gifts. Each of us have our own callings. Just trust that he knows what he's doing. If you've never put your faith and trust in him, it's really simple. The Bible says it's a gift. Salvation is a gift. It's by faith alone. Faith means to believe. It is a belief. You hear what Christ did. He died on the cross with you in mind. He knew that he was going to pay for the sins of all the entire world. And it says, believe in the Lord Jesus Christ and you will be saved. The fact is, it's by faith alone that if you trust in him today and you give over the issues that you're struggling with, he wrote the words, come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. If you're suffering tonight, if you're struggling with something, give it to him. Ask him. Say, Lord, help me with this. Maybe you've never trusted him before. He's waiting on you. You don't have to go to church. It's good to be in church because it's encouraging, and that's where you hear the word of God. The purpose of church in the Old Testament times, Acts 2:42, was to devote themselves to the apostles' teaching, to the fellowship, to breaking of bread, and to prayer. The whole church was put together to care for each other, not judge. So if you're belonging to a church that you're judging everyone, get out of it and go to a different one because you don't belong there. Because even Jesus Christ said, stop judging. He is the judge. Our job is to discern and to be around people that we know are going to be encouraging. But sometimes he puts us in front of people that aren't encouraging. Maybe they're hurting. Maybe they're suffering. Maybe that's why they act the way they do, because they're hurting. And maybe you can comfort them with the words that you've been comforted. And the way that I've been comforted, I want to now help others be comforted with those same words, because that's the way the Lord works. That's the way the God of the Bible works. He is a loving and caring God, but he also is a father to us, and he disciplines us. So there is justice. And if we're doing something that he doesn't want us to do and we're out of his plan, he will knock us and allow something to happen us to put us back on the path that he wants us to be. He says, for my words are alive and powerful. Psalm 119, 105, they're a lamp to my feet and a light for my path. So if you happen to have a Bible, open up the book of John, read the book of John. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are the four gospels that everybody knows, but there's a fifth gospel, and it's the gospel according to you and what you think about him, and people read you every day. So be encouraging, be the fifth gospel. Always remember that love is the key, because love covers every sin that anybody can have, and love is a verb. It requires action. For God so loved the world that he gave. 1 John 3:16 says, yes, he died for us, but we now should lay down our lives for each other. And that is why Big Daddy P is here today, to lay my life down for you, to pray for you, to encourage you, to be there for you. So if you want to talk to me, if you need prayer, or you want someone to scream and yell at and swear and you want to get a bunch of it out, call 931-304-1359. Call me, text me. You want to email me, Perry@paintersdream.com. If you're on Facebook, look for Perry Hartman. I got a picture with my wife. It's facebook.com/Perry Hartman, Instagram/Perry Hartman, Twitter/Perry Hartman, but never call me late for dinner. Father God, I thank you so much for your gratefulness and for your love, for your mercy, for your judgment, for everything that you do. Father, my heart breaks for Sonny and what he's going through. As I stated earlier, I can't imagine what it must be like for my child to go through what he's going through. But I know, Lord, you're going to make this family stronger, that you're going to bring them together. Maybe that's the reason why they're going through this. Maybe there was some problems at home or things in the past that maybe they were unified. I don't know, but you have all the facts, and you do. And we want to pray, Father, for Nick, that you would heal him, that you would continue to have your way with their lives, that they would continue to submit themselves to your plan, because your plan is much greater than ours, and your ways are not our ways. And again, you have all the facts, and we thank you. Father, we also want to pray and thank you for what you've done for Peyton, that you continue to strengthen her, to get her ready for the next time she gets to go on the field, if she chooses to do that. We know that you allow things to happen to us according to Isaiah 45, verse 5-7. It says, you are the Lord and there is no other, the one who creates light, the one who creates darkness, the one who creates well-being and good things, and the one who creates calamity and not good things. You do all of these things. Why? Because you love us. And I thank you that we can come before you, that when we call upon you, we don't get a voicemail, we don't get a busy signal. You're always ready to listen to us. I thank you for my brothers who are on tonight. I thank you for Renee, that you continue to heal him and continue to work in his life. Thank you for the conversation that I had with Joe this week. I pray, Father, that you would encourage him. We know that he's patiently waiting, but we know at this time he's suffering. But I pray that you strengthen him. For all those, Father, that we don't know what their situations are, but you do and they do, we want to lift them up to you right now in the name of Jesus Christ, that you would heal them, that you would help them, that you would answer their prayers, that you would, no matter what, as you always are, remain faithful, not because of who we are, but because of you are. And for, Father, those who tonight heard the message of the good news. You got so many preachers out there saying you got to stop this and stop that and stop doing this before you love them. That ain't it. You love us where we are. That's the good news, that you paid the price so we didn't have to. And by applying our faith, when we're done on this earth, then we get to hear you say, well done, my good and faithful servant. We thank you so much and we love you. And we ask these things in the only name under heaven worth naming, names of Jesus Christ, through the power of the Holy Spirit that we pray. Amen.
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 Boy, see what that revival did to me this weekend?
Yeah, you're fired. You're fired up.
Fire.
Ah,
If it wasn't for your foot, I feel like you could run through a wall right now. So
dude, my wife was just all day was like this. I was on 2 calls this morning in Pakistan from pastors who didn't ask me for money, which is the first time, because I get like 20 requests a week. Yeah, we need money for this. We have orphans, all this kind of stuff. But I'm looking for those who have a heart for God's word, man. And so Thursday I've got a teaching there, and I've got there's a ministry called Faithquake Ministries for my friend John Roberts, who has Saturday Night Truth, which is a teaching, and he invited me for the Sunday night teachings because one of their teachers is now is sick, and so he's called me in July to teach twice in July, twice in August. God has been kind of, last year he told me to be quiet, and I stopped I just stopped, and it was really hard for me because I didn't want to, but I rather face him with a good conscience, knowing that I'm obedient, than disobey him and do what and then he puts me in a justice headlock and holds me until I get back into his will. So I realized I've been inhaling this whole year, inhaling, reading his word, preparing, not knowing why. And now when an opportunity comes up like Wrestle Talk, like these conversations on WhatsApp, man, it's just coming out. I mean, so
what's 2 of your favorite things? Wrestling and speaking the word.
No, listen. I wrestle with God more than anyone else. He loves wrestling. Do you know how many ministers are wrestlers? I mean, Nikita Koloff, Christian.
Yeah.
Even the Masked Saint. He was a pastor and he was a pro wrestler. He would come in with bruised hands, and I mean, I can't wait to hear his story. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for the opportunity, and look forward to the next version of Wrestle Talk. And again, if anybody needs anything, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always available, and that's what this is all about. So
that's what you
Thank you, buddy.
All right, big Daddy P. Good seeing you again, brother. We'll talk to you again soon. Okay,
you, buddy.
And as you know, I never say goodbye. I always say until next time. Because either one of 2 things happen. Either you're going to see me or I'm going there. Either way, I win.
Yeah.
You still see us.
See you guys.
See you. All right, Justin.
Man.
So much energy. I wish I had half of the energy. So we're going to go ahead and real quick, we are going to let's go. We got to take care of our sponsors. So yeah, I'll let you, Justin, you want to roll through these real quick?
Bring it. Let me get my limericks here. Wrestle Talk Podcast would like to thank all of our great sponsors: Royal Mills Transportation, that's Dewan Mills; Raft Fun Engraving, where you can get the Wrestle Talk Podcast mug just for $20; Nobleman's Barber Lounge in Kansas City, Missouri; Kincaid Arcade at the Oak Park Mall; Interstate 70 Sports Media; Little Popeye Designs, that's where you can get the Wrestle Talk Podcast tumbler; and the FWWC, the world's premier fantasy wrestling group.
And I actually, bam. And since the FWWC was mentioned, I have a note. Dewan's not going to be able to make it with us tonight. But he did. He did send a statement over, so I have to announce that the CEO sends his regards for his absence this evening. As always, I try my best to make the show. Unfortunately, I had some things come up and put me behind schedule. Please tune in this Thursday to the FWWC Tonight Money in the Bank Go Home show at 8 p.m. Central for all the updates and information about this upcoming pay-per-view Saturday, July the 1st. That is from your CEO, Dewan Mills. So check out FWWC this Thursday night right here.
Does he have a screen a shot of something, or like a usually when he's on he has
he did have some. We can run. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Hey, it's first day here. What can I say? Let's see what I.
Because there's FWWC participants that probably use what's shown on here for their stuff, correct?
Yeah, give me one
Or
second.
do they already have all that?
I forgot to load it, so I was going to go through a second.
No. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Out of line.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So, check it out this Thursday, Money in the Bank Go Home Show. Hey, every promotion's got a Go Home Show. So, but it's now time for our featured guest of the week. This man, he wrestles all over the Midwest. He is the current Illinois Elite Wrestling Champion, and we are happy to have him on the show. So put your Wrestle Talk Podcast hands together and welcome the IEW champion, Khalil Akbar.
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing, sir?
Hey, nice to see you guys. This is my first time here.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us, Khalil. How's everything going with you?
It's going good, guys. How about you?
Not too bad, not too bad. We've had some good spirited talks about the wrestling world. We talked about Forbidden Door. We talked about Money in the Bank. Did you get a chance to watch Forbidden Door?
I actually did. I missed a couple. I missed like the first two matches, but I got to catch the Okada and Danielson match, and I got to catch the Kenny Omega Will Ospreay match.
No, did you as a wrestler cringe when that Tiger Driver 91 hit?
My God, dude! I was just like, oh man, this dude, he's getting put in a neck brace immediately once this match is over. Good on him for finishing the match.
Yeah, because we had a pretty long conversation about Forbidden Door. Justin's a big New Japan fan, and but all the matches my favorite match was probably the Orange Cassidy, Shibata, Zack Sabre Jr. and Daniel Garcia match for the international title, because Orange Cassidy, he's probably on one of the best runs of his career, but just in the wrestling world right now. He constantly puts on good matches.
Yeah, that man is unstoppable. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Akbar. Real quick though, I love the guy, but man, I cringe every time I see him put his hands in his pockets and try to leap through those. It makes me just one accident. Is he going to get his hands out in time to block the fall if he misses one of those sons of bitches? So it's just, every time I cringe. I love to.
and Justin's a wrestler. I don't know how many dives he's done. I mean,
I used to do some flying headbutts, but that's about it. I've never gone through the ropes.
You never.
On a good day back then, I was 5'10", about 280, in a solid looking form. I was more of, I'd rather pressure over my head than leap through the rope. So that was my forte back in the day. I never did any plunges. I've taken some hurricanranas, but I've never given any hurricanranas.
Come on, you look like you can do them.
You know what? I've been contemplating coming back. If I ever do, I'll pull one out for you, Akbar.
Oh yeah, that popped me for sure.
Jeremy Wyatt said one time he does like two. He sets a goal that he does 2 dives per year, and if he does them early in the year, he doesn't do another dive for the rest of the year. So,
hey, he met his quota.
and if Justin knows Jeremy Wyatt, he's been around. Yeah, and Jeremy Wyatt's one of the greatest minds in the business.
He's a Midwest legend.
Yes.
He's one of the Midwest legends. Yeah.
Yes. So, Khalil, let's talk about what got you into wrestling. What's your first wrestling memory?
My first wrestling memory, I think I was like maybe 3 or 4 years old. My dad was a big wrestling fan, and it was around the time when the Ministry of Darkness was running around real big. Yeah.
You're young. Shit. How old are you?
I'm 27.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
11 years older. I'm 11 years older than you. It's not that
Yeah, I'm showing my age. But yeah, when the Ministry of Darkness was running around, when Undertaker would come on, he'd have his cloak on and everything. He'd have his hair draping all over his face, and they'd just zoom in, get that money shot of him rolling his eyes. Oh man, I would just run straight out of the room.
At 4 years old, yeah, I would imagine he probably would run out of the room.
Yeah.
But what made you want to get into the wrestling business? Is there something that did you go to a show? Did you like this? When did it click that you're like, hey, this is what I want to do?
Honestly, I sat around a long time. I got out of high school. I tried the college route, didn't really work for me. And then I finally got into the workforce, and I actually started like working dead end jobs. And I was like, man, is this really what life holds? Is this it? Is this it? And then, I started looking around at things, and I went back. I watched wrestling my entire life. Like I said, my dad was a big fan. My grandpa was a big fan. They always talked about wrestling at the Chase, things like that. And I don't know, whenever I watch wrestling, I saw those big moments, and I saw, the crowd just surrounding the guys in the ring, and I was like, why can't I do it?
Where did you start your training at? Where was it in was it in the St. Louis area or?
Honestly, no. I'm from St. Louis, but I didn't do enough research when I started. Like I said, I just wanted to learn. I just really wanted to learn. But I didn't do enough research. And I actually met a guy back in 2017 when Money in the Bank was in St. Louis. I met a guy, and he was wrestling in the Central Illinois area. And he said, hey, Tracy Smothers, if you've heard that name before, he runs a school
of Smothers.
School of Smothers. So I started working. I would work Monday through Friday. I would leave Friday from the St. Louis area, drive up to Lincoln, Illinois, which is about 2-hour drive. I would go there. I would train Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come back home, work Monday through Friday, go Friday, Saturday, Sunday, come back home. I did that for about pretty much a year.
And that's probably where you met Sadie at, was up there.
Yeah,
because I believe he went up to the School of Smothers for a while, or would wrestle for Smothers promotion. I don't know which one it is, but yeah. Sadie's got his hands on everything here in training in St. Louis. He's at the dojo. He's training the new crop of young kids. So
yeah, I absolutely love Sadie. I have to actually get reconnected with him. Like, I love him so much on a personal level. I call him my wrestling daddy, but but yeah, he helped me out a whole lot up there. And then I found out that he was from St. Louis too. So early on in my career, he definitely helped me out. And I'm planning on coming back to the St. Louis area and doing a lot of work with him and for him.
Yeah, he's good. Sadie's a really good guy.
Yes.
He's kind of one of my wrestling mentors. I consider him, Luke Roberts, obviously, also Ricky Cruz. Ricky Cruz is someone that, if you listen to him, he's got one of the brightest minds in the business. And I don't know, have you ever wrestled Ricky Cruz?
It was a one-off time in a battle royal.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, Ricky's very intelligent. I recently went and watched a show at CHWA, and Ricky was there, and I just saw him just be a ring general in the ring. Very, very smart, very talented, very experienced.
Yeah. So, all right, Justin, I won't hog any more. You can go ahead and take it.
No. When you saw Ricky Cruz at CHWA, they're doing the cross promotions, right? Rodell with Dynamo and
we got some. They're kind of sprinkled in, like MNWA. The guys are there. CHWA, it's the promotion. Dynamo guys are coming in. So we all kind of use the same. It's one of those things. We all kind of use the same pool. Why not help each other out if we can? You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a lot, from what I see, there's a lot of young guys at that CHWA that can use some, any advice they can muster. And there's a lot of veterans in Dynamo that can offer that advice and help out. And and they, when they're doing that collaborating, they can put on some stellar shows. Akbar, I appreciate you being on the show, man. I watched your I Quit match you did with I can't pronounce his name, Kendall Fire.
Kendall Fire.
Tell me about that, man, because that was a brutal 25-minute affair, my friend. You guys were going all over that place. He threw you in a dumpster. I'm sorry, I cracked up when he threw you in that dumpster.
Oh man,
because,
cheering for the good guy, huh?
Hey! I love everybody, and the crowd seemed to not love you. Tell me how you feel when you get that crowd response. What do you feel like? What's going through your head when you get the crowd going like that?
Man, it's just a major head rush, honestly. Like I just love getting a reaction out of the crowd, whether it's positive, negative. Obviously, I want the negative because I'm a heel. But whenever I get that reaction, it makes me feel like I'm doing something right. I'm playing my part in this big story that we're trying to tell.
Yeah. And, seeing what you did in that match, you were pretty dastardly in the end when you put Haven Harris.
Yes.
And now, what do you call your finisher? Is it it's not the camel clutch, is it? Do you have a specific name for your finisher? Is it camel clutch or?
I call it the trap. It's a camel clutch, but I call it the trap.
Okay, all right. What was the inspiration for that? For you calling it the trap?
Admiral Akbar from Star Wars.
Okay, you know what? I was going to say that because that name, not Star Wars, but Akbar. That is a dastardly name in the history of pro wrestling.
General Skandar Akbar.
Yeah, Skandar Akbar. And when I saw you coming on the show, what made you want to use that name, Akbar? Is that because of the Star Wars character, or for Skandar Akbar? Are you trying to pay homage to him?
It's kind of an amalgamation of things. So a lot of people, there's a big misconception about my character. People think I'm like Middle Eastern, I'm whatever. I mean, technically I have like that heritage. My name Khalil is Arabic. And back when I was training, I was talking to Tracy, and Tracy was like, if you're gonna be a heel, you need a real heel name. And he was like, your name Khalil, keep it because it's unique. I said, okay. I've always been told my name's unique. He's like, but you need something to stick it to him at the end. So he was like, how about Akbar? And I was like, let's roll with it. And
that sounds like Tracy Smothers, because Tracy Smothers is all about that heel characters. He's all about those heel characters.
Yeah. And go ahead.
Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You go ahead. That's no. Go ahead with that. What I was going to say is we're learning from Tracy. Do you have any lasting memories from the stuff that Tracy taught you? Anything you can remember that you still carry on with you?
Okay, so I got two things. One's a serious thing. One thing that Tracy always focused on was just telling that story, and just focusing on the crowd. Make the crowd, especially on indie shows, make the crowd feel like they're getting their money's worth. So every time I hit the curtain, I just try to make sure that, I'm the worst guy in the locker room. I want to be the worst guy in the locker room that hits that ring. Everybody's like, oh, I hate you, Akbar, blah, 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 blah. I try to just hit that to the maximum. And another thing from Tracy, one night during training, he was telling us a story. And he went to go get a drink out of the fridge. Partway through, he thought it was moonshine. Partway through the story, he tries to chug it back, looks at it, notices that it's ranch, and goes, "Oh man, that's one for the autobiography," and throws it back in there and just continues telling the story. Oh, that man used to crack me up.
I bet,
Yeah.
I bet you there were some stories in that gym or wherever you guys were training at. I mean,
Oh man, plenty. Yeah.
So so
no, go ahead, go ahead, Justin.
no, I see that you're Illinois Elite champion as well. Are you the Elite Pro as well champion?
Yes,
So you're holding two different
yes.
belts, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so is that keeping you pretty busy?
Yes, it is. It's keeping me very busy.
And
20,
did you go ahead? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
2023, this year has been a very busy year. I made it a personal goal to be as busy as possible and to network as much as I possibly can, shake as many hands, get to doors, because I've always been told that it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Right.
I let my work speak for me, but I also let my connections help me get to other opportunities.
Yeah, because it was like pre-pandemic, because you worked several shows for Dynamo, and you were starting to get, people were starting to hate you. You were getting over with the heel. They were booing them, and then obviously COVID hit and wrestling went away. There's nothing,
Mm-hmm.
and then coming back out of COVID, was it hard?
Honestly, yeah, because like initially during like the peak of COVID, everybody was, upset or whatever. I thought I was fine. I was thriving. I enjoyed the alone time, the isolation, but then coming out of it and then transitioning back into normal life, I honestly, like, my mental health and everything, I just hit rock bottom. Like, I really didn't even want to wrestle anymore. I didn't want to do anything. But 2021, it was kind of rocky. I hardly wrestled at all. 2022, I did a little bit more wrestling. And then towards the tail end, beginning of 2023, I started to do a lot more, like that I Quit match, and things just started clicking for me again. And then this year, like I said earlier, I just wanted to shake all of that completely and get back in the groove of things, get my Missouri license back, wrestle in my hometown again, wrestle in even further places. Because right now I mainly wrestle in between Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. I travel those three states back and forth. Now I'm working on branching out and doing a lot more shows in Missouri.
Yeah, I mean, you got. I was always told people learn by getting into cars with people. If you can just ride somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
if you have a chance. I mean, not everyone can do that, but I mean, it sometimes you go to a show, you're not on it, you're just going to visit some people that you know, and you never know what happens.
Yep.
Always, I was always told, always take your gear, because you
Mm-hmm.
just never know. Because if something opens up, even if it's just for a battle royal spot, you never know. It could lead to more things. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So do you have any? What's your dream match? I mean, what's a dream match of yours? You could do a local dream match, but expand. Who would you want to wrestle?
Man, if if I were able to, I'll do. Is it okay if I do two?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, you said local at first.
Yes, you can do it.
So I'll do a local dream match. I'd if I could choose somebody to wrestle that's in like the St. Louis area, I would choose Camaro Jackson. Because he's tearing it up right now. I know he just lost his championship at Glory Pro recently, but he has been on a tear. Him, Mike Outlaw, Kenny Alfonso, all those guys, they're good.
You're gonna go to war. He hits hard. So.
Oh yeah, I know. I wouldn't say it if I didn't want it. And if I got to choose like a dream match on the international level. Anybody, I would say possibly Miro.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Hold for hold, I see there. Especially how you like to extend that finisher of yours on poor Miss Harris, as you did in that end of that I Quit match. You know
yeah,
what? It's just business. That's what you have to tell that guy. It's just business. You needed that belt. You needed him to say I quit. He wasn't going to say it, just handcuffing him and beating the hell out of him. So you gotta hit him where it hurts.
yeah, yeah. If you won't quit, I'll give you a reason to quit. Yeah.
That's why, you know what? I don't know why you haven't had feuds with everybody's America's sweetheart, Benjamin Trust. I don't know. Have you crossed paths with Benjamin Trust yet?
I've spoken to him outside of the ring. I've never
Okay.
really been put anywhere with him.
You would think with you guys' two personalities, you guys would have a nice little throwdown in the ring. So
Yeah, I've seen some of his work. Yeah, I've seen some of his work. He's a pretty good worker.
From where Benjamin Trust started, where he is now, it's night and day.
Yeah,
he's consistently gotten better every match. Every time I see him, he gets better and better. I mean, he was holding 3 belts in the St. Louis area at one point. So I mean,
wow, good on him.
He held the Dynamo Pro heavyweight title. He held the NWA title. He also held PWE Interstate title. So he was carrying around rocking 3 belts for a while. So, but yeah. So what's your favorite match so far? Do you have a favorite match
of the year?
No, just at any time, any match you've had. What's a favorite match of yours?
My favorite match I've had so far, it would that I Quit match was really fun. I'm trying to think. I had a match with Mickey Midas. That match was pretty fun. I don't know if you guys know who that is. He's from Kentucky, and he travels around the Midwest a lot too. That match was pretty fun. I've had quite a few, but that I Quit match, that one was pretty cool.
I bet you're probably sore the next day, weren't you?
Oh man, yeah. There was one part of the match where he picked his son up and he shoved his son's butt in my face and shook it around. And then afterwards, he grabbed his son's baby toy and whacked me in the head. Everything else in that match I was prepared for, but that one thing, oh my God, it gave me a nice knot on top of my head.
Yeah. It's like stepping on a Lego.
Oh my God.
And I've seen wrestlers take body slams into Legos. There's a match that they did. It was a hardcore match, and they had not only did they have the little Lego, the regular size Legos, they had those big Duplo Legos that you use when you're really young. So yeah, that hurt me just watching that. So
oh my goodness.
All right, we're spending a little bit of time here with the IEW champion Khalil Akbar. Justin, you have anything else that you want to say?
Yeah, what else you got coming up? What do you got coming up, Mr. Akbar? Who do you got in your sights next?
Like I said, I'm working on renewing my Missouri license so I can come back down to Dynamo and tear it up.
And IEW actually has a coming up show in Greenfield, Illinois. Look out below. See the champ being featured there. Get your tickets. I believe you can scan that QR code and get your tickets.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing what they can do with QR code. So
the technology. Yeah. Yeah, come on out and watch me destroy War in his hometown.
It's not nice to beat somebody in their hometown.
Nothing better than destroying the hometown boy.
That's WWE 101. Come on, man.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah. Saturday night, you go to see your favorite pro wrestler the next day, you're crying because your hopes were dashed because of Akbar. Good job.
Yep.
Hey, that's heel 101 right there.
You know it.
So we do this thing every week, and Justin knows where this is going. We do this thing called the Game Show Challenge, where we put one of the hosts of the Wrestle Talk podcast game show. He's already rolling his eyes because
I'm the one that has to compete in it.
I know.
The pressure's on me. This guy's got a show coming up.
Oh.
If he accepts the challenge and I beat him, he's got to go into his show coming up going, I had this son of a bitch who hasn't stepped a foot in the ring in years. He just beat me in some goddamn question. And, so it puts heat on me because I make our guests look bad sometimes. So yeah, I'm rolling my eyes because of that. I have no problem doing it, but I start thinking about it, and yeah, so I'm like, yeah, these guys, are they going to come on the show again if I'm smoking them? So.
Did you win last week against Alpha? No. Okay. All right. So are you willing to take part in this Wrestle Talk podcast game show challenge?
No, absolutely not. No, I'm kidding. Let's do it. It's fun.
You know what? You said you've been a fan since the ministry, so that's almost what 1999, 20 something. My math is horrible. 1999 and 2023. Is it 24 years?
I was told there'd be no math.
Okay.
Yeah, let's leave math out.
Yeah. I it's too late in the day for math. I did my math at work today.
It's not horrible. We're educated men, and you can't even add whatever. Here's the thing.
That's why God invented calculators.
Yes.
And by the way, we didn't have Game Show Challenge last week. It didn't happen. So I'm thinking it did, but it didn't.
Oh, it didn't happen. Okay. Well, we're gonna go ahead and do this game show challenge. We're gonna set this up. We got a little bit of theme music.
Oh God.
This will be fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Tonight's guest, Khalil Akbar, will take on our very own Jay Wade, Justin Wade, in a 2 out of 3 falls affair. We'll ask questions about a certain wrestling topic. And whenever you know the answer, just shout out. You don't have to wait for the question to be over. Just shout out whenever you know the answer. So it's 2 out of 3 falls. And tonight's category is Money in the Bank. I will give you information on 3 pro wrestlers that have won the Money in the Bank briefcase. Once again, when you think of the wrestler, please shout out your answer. Khalil, are you ready?
Oh, let's do it.
Justin, you ready?
There's a handful of Money in the Banks I've missed, so yes, I am ready.
All right. Question 1. This current WWE wrestler won the Money in the Bank contract in St. Louis in 2017. He cashed in during a match between John Cena and Jinder Mahal and lost. If you have been
Baron Corbin.
Justin's got that. And the next question, the next question was going to be about NXT. So he's actually wrestling Camaro. Come on, I can't talk tonight. Jiminy Christmas.
Carmelo Hayes.
Hayes don't miss.
Right now,
yeah. And they brought back the Lone Wolf. They brought back his Lone Wolf music instead of that stupid Happy Corbin music.
Oh, finally!
Sorry.
Back when Baron Corbin was good.
Well, he's never
he's
really
still good. They just don't know what the hell to do with him.
We're not going to go there because to me he's boring. But I like the Lone Wolf music better than anything.
Man, that'd be an awesome name, Boren Corbin.
Boren Corbin. All right, question 2. This current WWE wrestler won the Money in the Bank contract in 2022. He cashed in against Seth Rollins for the United States Championship and lost. He is currently the WWE United States
Austin Theory.
That is correct. So we have a tie 1-1. So it's going to come down to this Question 3, Khalil, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Justin, you ready?
Oh yeah, let's go.
All right. This current WWE wrestler won the Money in the Bank contract in 2013. He used his contract after Daniel Bryan had just defeated John Cena for the WWE
Randy
Championship.
Randy Orton.
That is correct. We have a winner.
Fucking A, you do.
Oh.
See, I'm the bad guy here. I love it. No, it's all fun, because it's so. That's what I'm thinking. Should we do the game next time? Like at some point where we write the answer down instead of blurting it out, or is this a good way to do it?
I don't know. I didn't come up with the whole concept. So we can put that in the suggestion box. I honestly don't know. I didn't have anything.
Come on, you're the host. You gotta make up on the fly.
I'm low on the totem pole here. But before we go, there's actually 2 questions I want to ask you. Since we were talking about Money in the Bank, who do you think are going to win the 2 Money in the Bank matches?
Yeah.
So let me throw them up here on the screen. The women's Money in the Bank, it's Io Sky, Bayley, Trish Stratus, Zelina Vega, Zoe Starks, and Becky Lynch.
Man, I feel like personally the right choice would be Io Sky, because she's been tearing it up, and I can see them doing that whole division story of what is it, Damage Control?
Damage Control, yeah. Where she
I see,
I could see where she could I could see it both ways, where Io Sky pushes Bayley off to win the title, or Bayley pushes Io Sky off to win the title. But of the 2, Io Sky deserves it.
Yeah, I can see that. But WWE could always pull something where Trish Stratus wins because it's her first Money in the Bank, which I don't want.
No.
So then we got the men's Money in the Bank this Saturday. It's Damian Priest, LA Knight, Shinsuke Nakamura, Butch, which is a stupid name, Logan Paul, Santos Escobar, and Ricochet.
Oh man, I'd have to say my boy LA Knight, because just listen to the crowd when he comes out. You'd be going the wrong way if you don't choose anybody. But a WWE move would be putting it on Logan Paul, because he bought his way in.
I mean, yeah. And then, of course, we would be remiss if we didn't ask you about the main event, the Bloodline story, the Bloodline, the Civil War, Roman and Solo versus the Usos. How do you?
Oh,
I think that's gonna be. Tear down the house. To be honest with you,
It is.
Yeah,
Drama
and it will.
Oscar winning performances probably.
I just want to say, Jey Uso deserves Best Supporting Actor. He deserves an Oscar for his.
He's great on the mic.
Oh my God, yeah, he deserves everything. Honestly, it could go either way. Like I feel like the story can still progress either way. Like I don't know. Like it'd be awesome to see the Usos win. Oh, I lost.
You lost your camera. We can still hear you, but we lost your camera. So, hopefully we'll get him. He's still backstage. So, Khalil, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We just can't. We just can't see you. So we'll go ahead and wrap up this interview and shout out all of your social media. So where can fans of the Wrestle Talk podcast find you?
You can find me at Khalil Akbar Wrestling on Instagram, and you can find me on Facebook at Khalil Akbar.
Okay. And you also do you have a YouTube channel?
Yes, I do have a YouTube channel, Khalil Akbar Wrestling, as well.
All right. Well, Khalil, it has been great to have you as a guest on the Wrestle Talk podcast, and you are now officially part of the Wrestle Talk podcast family. And we hope to have you back again real soon. Thank you for coming on, and have a good rest of the week. And we'll talk to you soon.
You too, guys.
Sure.
Peace out.
All right. Have a good one.
Yes, sir. Take care, buddy.
That's Khalil Akbar. Good interview. Up and coming young wrestler here in the St. Louis area. 27. That's kind of young. I mean, it makes me feel old. So.
Well, how old are you, Rodell?
46. I'll be 47 in.
Man. And you're gonna have to get your young man boots on when we travel to the Iowa area.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be an interesting trip. I don't know. I mean,
hey, I hope you know what it should be. I'm gonna make it awkward as hell. That's all I gotta say. So,
I'm not sure that Iowa is ready for us, Justin.
I don't. Oh, because we're so crazy. But most of us need what do you call it? The sleep apparatus on our face. Yeah. We take multiple medications because age sucks. And getting old sucks. That's all I gotta say.
But it will be great to see, because there is a independent wrestling show that's running in during the convention during that time. So, and it's part of the all day passes that we got. So me, you, and Luke are gonna sit back and watch wrestling and enjoy ourselves.
Do you partake in some alcohol beverages from time to time?
Occasionally. I'm more of a Captain Morgan guy, but if beer is there, I'll drink beer. I mean,
oh no, me and Luke were talking about getting a bottle of Crown Apple and getting some mixers with it. So
yeah, I'm not. I had a bad Crown. I had
You do your rum and soda, brother, and we'll do our whiskey and drinks, and we'll have some fun. I'm looking forward to just all of us getting together, because it'll be like old times,
Mm-hmm.
Even
and you're flying. Are you flying? You're flying into St. Louis, and you're going to ride with us, right?
Yeah, I'm flying into St. Louis, and Luke's picking me up on the day before we leave.
Okay.
So I'm going to crash at his place that night, and hopefully, the next. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm looking forward. We don't have White Castles out here, so Luke's taking me by White Castles the night he picks me up, and I'm going to be blowing up his house. So
oh, poor Luke. Poor Luke.
Yeah, and hopefully it's out of my system by the time we get on the road, because even though I found out he's got a bigger car than he used to. He used to have that Nissan Cube.
Yeah.
And that would have been a little uncomfortable. But no, I'm looking forward to.
Is it sad that I'm making? Is it sad I'm making a list of things I need to remember to bring, like my medicine I take every day, my just various random little things that you're going to need. You don't want to have to buy while you're out there. Am I getting to that point where I have to write this stuff down?
Well, so usually, every time this will be the first time I'm air traveling by myself, and usually it's with my better half, my beautiful wife Desiree, and usually she helps me remember things. I'm getting to be a big fan of of the vacation toiletries, like the small toothpaste, the small deodorants, because in my head I'm like, oh, they're cheaper. So at home I use the travel size things, because in my head I'm saving money, but in the long run I'm not.
No, you're probably not.
I'm looking forward to the show. I'm not going to lie, even though there's probably slim chance of this happening. I am bringing my gear just in case. You always bring your gear if you step in the ring at least once. So we'll see what happens. Who knows? They might need to have someone do a squash match for somebody. So.
Yeah. But yep. So we got through episode 440. The rest 440. That number just
440. 10 away from 450 and 50 away from 500 after that. So
yeah, I mean
we're well on our way.
Yeah. So, but we had a good show. Good guests. Good talk about Money in the Bank, Forbidden Door. So, I guess you got anything coming up this weekend? Anything important?
No. You know what we got to cover at some point? We don't ever give really any love to Impact Wrestling. It seems like there's so much going on. We got Alex Shelley as the heavyweight champion. He's actually getting ready to get in the ring with Nick Aldis. That's going to be an interesting bout right there. I'm looking forward to that. We got Ring of Honor this week. Another person I was shocked not to see on the show Forbidden Door with Samoa Joe. You know, I guess you can't get everybody on the show.
Yeah.
But I don't have really much going for. We got 4th of July next Tuesday. Are we going to be preempted?
Oh, that's a good. That would be a question for Luke and Renee because I don't make those decisions. I forgot that they're Tuesday, so we might have the holiday off. I'm not for sure, so we'll have to make sure that.
If we don't, I suggest if they're all listening, we have a show where we reminisce about the good old days of the Great American Bash, because that is summer's pastime for 4th of July, the Great American Bash. That's just an idea. I would love to have a talk, a debate of the past, Great American Bashes, or even a potentially like a watch along with somebody. We watch the same show. Who knows? But yeah, tonight was fun, Rodell. It was real fun working with you tonight, and
yeah,
it was a good interview.
Yep, and we'll do it again next time. I don't know if we'll be here next week, but we'll let you know. Check out our Wrestle Talk podcast page, and check that out. And as always, we like to end our show that everyone struggles. Everyone struggles. So if you are needing someone to talk to, this is Jeremy Cart brought this to us, and we like to do it every show. If you are feeling pressure and you need someone to talk to, 988, they've made it a number, and give them a call. They'll help you out. Just remember, you're not alone. There's always someone there for you.
Yeah, and besides 988, Big Daddy P, he's saying reach out to him if you're upset, got stuff going on, talk with him, talk with the 988 hotline. There's always someone here in this world that'll listen to you.
Yes, exactly. So that is going to do it for us on the Wrestle Talk podcast. We want to thank everybody for showing up, and great comments, great interviews, great talk. Justin, I will see you again next time. Enjoy the weather, and I will see you in it's not too long. It's about 3 weeks now, isn't it?
In almost 3 weeks, and we're gonna have some fun, brother.
Yes. So, all right, Justin, thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you for having me.
And we will talk to you guys all later. My name is Chris Riddell. That's Justin Wade, and this is the Wrestle Talk podcast.